Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
We are, yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation, pledge your allegiance.
Who's gonna run this town tonight? Who's gonna run this town? We gonna run this town.
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Excited to have everyone on. We've got an excellent presentation on how to get a free property from the government with the tax law changes and maximizing those and utilizing leverage to get an investment home. So pleasure to have you all on tonight. I am Josh Gilmore, Senior Vice President and Real Estate Investor here at our operations team, and excited to share a little bit about our company and jump into the numbers and how we can help you accomplish this. So SDIRA Wealth, a lot of people will think that means self-directed IRA. It's actually a play on words. It's an acronym for what we believe in and what is the tried and true method for creating wealth, which is being strategically diversified in real estate assets. So our company, we are a full service build to rent solution where we help our investors do real estate from anywhere in the country in a much more passive way. Our company was started in 2001, so we have over 24 years in business. We are headquartered in Texas, over 75% referral business, and over 80% of our clients are repeat purchasers. Where some clients come in, buy a few properties, they're at their financial freedom number. Majority of clients, we're helping them over years create a portfolio that can outlive them and give them legacy wealth. So as the Senior Vice President, I've been blessed with the opportunity to build a portfolio of homes for myself and my family. I get to speak at events and share what we do and ultimately help our team and our clients put together a portfolio and understand the process for investing. Our company, we consider ourselves rebels. We challenge the status quo of just investing in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. We are passionate about what we do. We love helping people achieve financial freedom, maximize their tax savings, and be a resource to help clients understand this world and be a level of support. And we're experienced. We work with professionals on the financial services side, on the CPA side, and help people maximize these tax strategies. So going into how to get a property for free from the government and what they're not going to teach you in school, we've heard a lot about the big tax bill. And the part we're going to focus on today is the passing of 100% bonus depreciation. So in the big, beautiful bill, we have 100% bonus depreciation back from 40%. And when we're talking about depreciation on an investment home, there's two types I want to focus on. The one that you're likely most familiar with if you own any type of home is the structure, where you get 27.5-year period. You get to depreciate the home over that period of time, not just the home, but the structural value of the home. So with bonus depreciation, that falls under non-structural. And what makes that so exciting is there's multiple loopholes to take advantage of that as a investor against the income you make from your job, which is generally the highest tax you pay, especially if you're a higher income earner, higher income W-2s. The maximum federal rate is 37%. So more than 1/3 of the money you make goes to the government when you get to a certain level of income. So running A short-term rental, for example, as a high W-2 earner, allows you to take this bonus against income tax. So the normal structural depreciation is where we take the land value minus the price of the home. So we're going to, for this example, look at a $300,000 home. And what we're going to be doing is taking 20% down as cash to invest and buy this home. So we're looking at a $70,000 investment. When you look at the tax write-offs on the home, it's not based on how much money you put into the home. It's based on the value of the home and the value of the items in the home. So the less you put down, the more homes you can buy and the more tax write-offs you can ultimately get. So in this scenario, we're putting in $70,000 to invest in the markets we focus in, which are much more business friendly, landlord friendly markets that have very high building to land ratios, which is good for us as investors investing for tax write-offs. Because a place like San Diego, right, where you have a condo that's 50% land, 50% building, that cuts the amount you can depreciate in half. So you're already starting out on a much lower growth position. And what was I going to say? And when we're looking at the structural value in a 90-10 market, we take away 10%. That means we can take off 270,000 for structure over 27 and a half years. That gives you 9,818 and 18 cents per year in structural depreciation. So using that can be offsetting passive losses. So if you get the same rate of return in the stock market, you make 15%, you get no tax write-offs, you pay capital gains. Let's say it's the low end of capital gains. You're paying $1,600 per year in taxes. You buy real estate, you make the same amount of money, $11,250 or a 15% ROI. You get a write-off for almost $10,000. So what that does for you is it allows you to pay a lot less taxes because you're not paying taxes on $11,250. You're paying it on $11,250 minus almost $10,000. So you're only paying $200 in taxes instead of $1,687. So owning real estate saves you money every year, and over a long-term buy and hold, that's over $40,000 there. And if you think that's good, wait until we talk about the non-structural depreciation, because this is where we're going after high income earners, W-2 income, and non-structural depreciation, which is what cost segregation ultimately is doing. So when you buy an investment property, in order to take advantage of these bonus additional tax write-offs, you have to do what's called a cost segregation study. And engineering one of those studies costs on average $5,000 to get done, because an engineering team that specializes in this, a specialized CPA, will go out, inspect the property, and break down all the components of the house that are considered structure and non-structure. Because with the tax law change, we're allowed to take 100% bonus depreciation on the non-structural items of the house. So the typical house like this, they're going to take roughly 80,000 is going to be non-structural. The rest would be structural. So items to be aware of is you can only do this type of study on a new property or a rehab less than 15 years old, because all the items that are non-structural fall under 15 years. So if you buy a 30-year-old home and you replace the fence, the only thing you can write off is that fence. So buying a brand new home, like what we do here, puts you in the position to take the biggest possible write-off. And what that can look like on a home like this is a $70K investment. Your minimum cost seg is $80,000. What that looks like is if you're investing $70,000 and you're at the highest tax bracket, that's going to save you over $29,600 on your taxes, which is the same as in your first year getting a 42% ROI just from the bonus depreciation on this property. Even if you're at a lower tax bracket, we're looking at over 24% rate of return at 25% tax bracket. And as an investor investing in this property, if you're able to take advantage of this strategy, which our team and our network of specialized CPAs that specialize in real estate can help you maximize that. So a good question a lot of people ask is who would be a fit for this? So anyone really who has extra income and pays too much in taxes. Put a hand up in the chat if you would rather pay less taxes. I'm seeing a lot in the chat as well as we're going along. Yep. And there's a Q&A box as well. I'm seeing some questions come in. Feel free to drop those questions in for the end. We'll have some time to do a Q&A here. And high income earner, if they're making $500,000 in income and paying 37% tax on that, that's over $185,000 in taxes. So high income earner buys 6 of these homes, they're able to get over $500,000 in additional write-offs. So even though they made 500, they're showing a loss of over 500. And when you show no income, have no income, you do not pay any taxes. So this can be a way to avoid taxes, keep more of your own money and not lose it, but own assets that create income for you and your family. So I do have a quick cameo I'm excited to share. One of our CPA partners that we work with and help them and their clients and refer people over to, because if you have a CPA that doesn't understand this, our team's going to have resources and be able to guide you down the path. As disclaimer, I'm not a tax professional. I'm blessed to have great tax professionals that help me take advantage of these strategies to pay less taxes. But I want to introduce Bobby quickly. And then at the end of the webinar, we'll have a booking link for you to get in contact with us. And we can help you implement this strategy before the end of the year. It's still possible. We're down to the last couple of weeks where we can lock those things in with financing and about the last month without. But it is still possible for this year to take advantage of this massive tax change.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, for some reason it wasn't letting me start my video. Anyways, hello everybody. My name is Bobby Muka. I'm the owner of the Financial Strategists. We specialize in working with several different types of clients, specifically on real estate investment. But we by no means are strictly adhered to that. It's just the asset class that I am most familiar with and I absolutely love. I've got a couple of properties myself. So if you guys are interested, SDIRA Wealth is an excellent company to work with in the real estate investment space. I have several clients that have working with them right now and in the past. So we are, so far everything has been absolutely great.
Absolute pleasure.
I'll also drop a little link down in the chat for anybody that is interested with speaking with me, hear about any kind of customer testimonials, or if they're looking for a accountant at this time, I'd be happy to speak with anybody on the call.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby. It's been a pleasure so far. Been exciting to do some webinars and work with you and your clients and have you as a resource for clients out there that don't have proper CPAs that understand these strategies. There are so many people in this space that don't fully understand it. So when we bring a new client on, we want to make sure we give them all the resources they need to be comfortable, knowledgeable, and empowered to make a great decision and help their families achieve financial freedom. Thank you very much, Bobby. And when we talk about our strategy in full service, a lot of clients will ask, what does that mean? What does full service mean? That is a soup to nuts solution to real estate investing, where we go out and find the best markets to invest in, spending 2+ years researching. We build exclusively brand new homes. So ultimately, at our core, we're a builder. So we're building brand new homes, developing over 2,000 homes per year, and helping investors from all different walks of life be able to take advantage of this. And then ultimately helping you with the management side of things, where when we go into these markets, we're finding the best managers and giving you a guide and strategy for being able to take advantage of that. So building brand new homes built from the ground up, we're talking about new construction, very intentionally designed to minimize the cost of maintenance, includes warranties, and makes it much easier to rent. Ultimately, buying a brand new home with this level of quality, you're going to have a lot lower risk. You don't have to worry about, like with rehabs, older homes that end up having an AC unit go out and ultimately costing you 1 to 2 years worth of cash flow. And the huge bonus is obviously the depreciation. Being a new home, we get the maximum bonus depreciation, and that's how we're able to get a tax write-off bigger than what our down payment is. When it comes to researching markets, that's where being an expert and having over a combined 40 years of experience investing in real estate, our acquisitions team is looking for the best markets in the country. We're not limited to one area, so we're always going to go where it makes the most sense and research markets based on major key indicators like cost of living below average, low vacancy, strong job growth, strong building permit growth, excellent major employers in the local area. And helping you through the process, we also have an in-house lending team, a preferred lending team. So our company now partners with over 300 preferred lenders. It's not a requirement to use our preferred lenders. However, the extra discounts, the service, the fact we can shop it around for you, it makes the process much smoother and easier for an investor to buy a home from us and not have to go out and find 10 lenders and get numbers and not work with someone they don't trust. And when it comes to utilizing leverage, especially if you're 5, 10, 15 years from retirement, we want to get as many homes in your portfolio with as little of your money as possible. A lot of you probably heard OPM, use other people's money. That's what we're talking about here. And the power of leverage is just incredible. We're talking about the ability to take 200,000 and buy 4 homes instead of 1, 4 to 5 homes. And for this example, let's conservatively say 25% down per home. So on the right, you have 1 home, all cash. If you have, not even keeping up with inflation growth, 3% conservatively, that's 6,000 per year. Now, I prefer to do what's on the left, where we're taking 200,000 and spreading that risk out, buying more assets, utilizing the bank's money for a mortgage and generating 3,000 or 3%, 6,000 per year times 4. So if a market goes up by 6%, I make 48,000 instead of 12,000. And if it only goes up by 3%, I'm still making 12% ROI because I'm buying 4 times as many homes. So not only does leverage help you maximize the depreciation benefit, where you're getting more depreciation overall, but it also helps you maximize the growth, where you can be getting way more homes and way more appreciation, especially over 5, 10, 15 years. Think back 20 years and what a home was worth, and imagine buying 4 instead of 1, and how much wealthier you and your family would be. And the most crucial piece of success as a long-term investment property is property management and communication. So not only do we have an amazing guide and customer service team that guides all of our clients through the best questions to ask property management, the best practices to be a great owner, we do the legwork of vetting 20 plus managers in every market we go to and compiling a list of the top 3 to 5, getting some exclusive discounts working through us that you wouldn't get doing it on your own. And that allows us to make the process a lot easier and smoother for our clients who are coming into this and interviewing managers and deciding which teams they like best. Of course, they can manage it themselves. They can choose a manager outside of network. However, most clients, like I've mentioned, are looking for a more hands-off approach and a team that can support them and then give them the ability to do this. And then we've got the Financials behind this: owning real estate gives you 4 streams of revenue: cash flow, monthly income, principal reduction as tenants pay the loans down, appreciation gains at a leveraged rate, so you're accelerating that growth, and these massive tax benefits that can get you your down payment back in tax savings alone. So there's so many different opportunities and ways you can make profit with real estate. And what we do and what we serve is all different types of investors, from your doctor, lawyer, high income W-2 earner that needs tax write-offs, to busy professionals that want passive income and don't have the time, energy, or desire to become a real estate investor. The investors looking to escape the volatility of the stock market and looking to take their 401k out of the market. That is where we would utilize a self-directed IRA to be able to buy properties under your retirement portfolio. And anyone really looking to retire comfortably and have a more secure future without dealing with the status quo of volatility. So I have a couple questions. It looks like the chat was disabled in the settings, but I do see all the questions and answers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We are recording it, so you can go ahead and you will have a recording and a copy of this online to answer another question. And I'll save some of the rest for at the end here. But going into the chat, I'm going to go ahead and drop in our link. So this is a link to book a free call with our team. We believe education, coaching, and learning about this should be completely free. So there's no obligation. This is a way to book a call with our team, get to know us, get your questions answered, and see if this is the right fit for you and your family in getting started. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in for reference. And I want to share a few client success stories and some clients who've come out to visit the properties as well, so everyone can get a chance to sign up. And we're going to be doing an additional 2% seller credit for anyone who signs up on the webinar tonight. So it's no obligation to purchase, but if you do sign up and book a call, you will get an additional 2% seller credit on the next investment purchase you make. So I'm going to jump off here and let this video play real quick.
Been in the stock market for a while, you know, the ups and downs, just kind of doing my own thing. So I've always wanted to do a rental property, and I think my biggest thing has been the turnkey, you know, just hands off. Like, I do want to do it as an investment, but I don't want to deal with tenants. I just don't have time for it. So got introduced to Josh, had a good conversation, which just kind of led me on more. And then, you know, obviously researching into the Texas properties, and I think I watched one of his videos too, and, you know, everybody can get hung up on it because I was going to kind of just test one out. And I'm realizing here a big part that I was probably a little wrong on, because I have CPAs and stuff for accountants. A huge reason for this was the tax saving.
I'm impressed with the ability to find these markets, like, which other people can do, right? But like, find these markets, locate enough of an opportunity where you guys can do what you do at scale, and have like consistent opportunities that someone like myself, or even people that I can refer.
I will say this, Josh, it's a satisfying journey. It's exciting, and it's you know, you guys always ask, you know, what would you recommend, or what kind of advice would you give clients? I will say, if you do start on this journey, it is addicting, especially when you get things set up and you have good property management in place. You continue to look forward to closing on the next deal, you know. And my goal, and going back to our initial conversations, you know, you always start out by asking, what's your why? You know, what are your goals? My goal was always 10 properties.
I would say listen, because you give a hell of a presentation. But if there's anything you don't understand at any point in making a decision on this, all I gotta do is give you a call and ask. And either they'll like it or they won't, but it won't be a problem with not knowing. Yeah, because a lot of we ask a lot of questions. I'm gonna say I ask a lot of questions because I don't know. Yeah, so that's the thing. If I don't know, I ain't gonna sit here and just, oh yeah, man, I got it. Okay, yeah, let's sign. And then, 6 months later, damn, Josh, I didn't know about that. So that's why I ask all the questions, and anytime I ask, you give me information. When I was flying out here, you send me brochures, you give me information on where to stay and what the accommodations are around me. So I'm just all around comfortable with you guys.
Helping, but we have a full team here. We're going to be working through the weekend. So anyone who's interested in learning about this and getting started, and especially saving some money on taxes this year, we're going to be available for you. And let's talk about, when we invest in real estate, really the long-term goal for you and why you want to do it, and ultimately what your freedom number is. So a freedom number, simply put, is the amount of passive income you and your family need to retire the way you want to. So it's different for every family. My family and I were looking at a goal of $25,000 a month from our real estate portfolio. And some clients are 5 and some clients are 10. And I want to ask you a question, and especially for all of those who book calls with us, do you know what your freedom number is? Have you thought about it? Have you sat down and you and your spouse over dinner talked about what financial freedom would look like and what a healthy, successful retirement would look like? The sad reality for most of us is that the vast majority of Americans will not reach that financial freedom. The average 401k at retirement is right around $200,000, less than the average equity in someone's primary residence when that's their only property that they've owned in their life. And what that translates to is $200,000, if you conservatively take out a 4% amount, $8,000 per year, or on a monthly basis, $667. So if Social Security is still around, 1,900 plus 667, 1,900 being the average Social Security, that's only $2,567 per month. So most clients need to do a lot better than that. Most Americans, that is nowhere near enough for them to even cover the bare minimum expenses when we're retired. And then looking at average clients and doing this now for over 24 years, we've learned that the average client needs about $10,000 a month extra to retire comfortably. And what that equates to in terms of homes is an average of 5 homes. Our typical home price is around $200,000. And we've developed the Freedom 5 formula, which is the steps to getting there, and utilizing our strategy and support team to be able to acquire 5 homes, have them pay themselves off, typically within a 20-year time frame, and retire comfortably. It's one of those things where we do this in order to create that financial freedom and customize the plan for you. So someone may need to retire in 5 years and their goal is $15,000 a month. So we're going to need to do more properties for a client like that, and less for one who's 30 years out and their goal is $15,000 a month. So working with our team, we're going to help you customize that plan. The Formula 5 book is a real book. You can go ahead and buy it on Amazon today. One of the items I want to share with you, it's a 2-part item. So going to our core beliefs and believing that education should always be and stay free, we offer all of these webinars and an entire guide to investing in real estate, getting started, typical questions, client experiences, how self-directed IRAs work. We have a full education website we're officially launching tonight, where we're compiling all the videos we've done and webinars we've done into one source, so investors can access that for free. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat as well too. You can sign up for free here. You'll get access to all of our education for free. You'll get a free copy of the Freedom 5 formula book and highlighting that, I can kind of go through some of the steps we're going to talk through, and we're going to teach you as you learn about utilizing this to create financial freedom. So we're talking through the three simple phases here: acquiring homes, utilizing leverage to maximize those homes, and then paying that leverage off so you can get to the final phase, which is cash flow, and having enough cash flow. If your goal is $10,000 a month, that's going to be on average 5 homes paid off free and clear when you're retired. So phase 1, we're laying the foundation. We're acquiring properties, utilizing as little money as possible to control a $1 million portfolio of 5 homes at average $200K each, and generating some passive income while the tenants are paying down our mortgage. So the goal here is to build equity. While the property values increase, the mortgage value decreases. Phase 2 is where we start to leverage and harvest that equity. So multiple different strategies, from home equity line of credit, where you can borrow against the equity in your home, to a cash out refi when your home was worth a lot more, especially right now with high rates. You can buy a home at a better price, have a higher interest rate, and then when rates come down and home values go up, you have an amazing opportunity to refinance, pull that equity out, and utilize that equity to be able to buy more and more homes. And then the best phase, the fun phase, what we're working towards, is not what color paint the house is or do I want to live there. It's, I need enough homes that renters live in that pay off for me so I can get to that extra 10,000 plus a month. I can own these properties without a mortgage. And ultimately, the goal is your money's working for you, not the other way around. You're not working for your money for the rest of your life. So these advanced real world strategies we help you with, from 1031 exchanging to utilize equity, to utilizing leverage and HELOCs and cost segregation to maximize tax write-offs up front and be able to create more income down the road. And this is something that you can do yourself. A lot of clients do. Someone who wants to be active and negotiate deals is not a good fit for us. You can identify those growth markets. I would look at minimum 5. You can secure financing, interview inspectors, hire property managers. You can do all things in terms of doing this yourself and creating growth for yourself. And when using an IRA, you do have to be very careful because you're not allowed to actively manage any properties. It has to be a strictly arm's length investment. The value in working with our team is you get to eliminate this guesswork. We provide vetted opportunities in the highest growth markets in the country based on over 24 years of being in business and over 40 years of combined experience as investors. Our team offers expert insights and ongoing guidance. We walk you through every step of the way, from identifying the problem, finding a solution, customizing a plan, acquiring the property, quarterly check-ins to make sure everything's going well and help you with the investment as you're growing your portfolio. And with us, you've got that huge advantage: exclusive investment access. We're able to make a profit not by charging our clients anything or charging for education and coaching, but ultimately by buying and building at such a bulk rate, we're able to get everything at a discount, just like a Costco. And then one thing I want you to think of is, imagine where you will be with your properties appreciating, your equity growing, your cash flow is increasing, with some properties getting fully paid off. You have a lower tax bill than ever thanks to this strategic planning, and you're living your ideal life with time for the people and passion you love. So a lot of people worry about the timing of starting and think, should I wait till rates drop? Should I wait till rates are higher? Realistically, if you're thinking 10, 20 years from now, it's not about when you start. It's about how long you own these homes and your time in market. Because the longer you own a home, the more the rent goes up over time, the more equity you build because the tenants are paying more and more of your mortgage down for you. And you're getting that much closer to your goals the longer you're in the investment. So the best time to start was yesterday. And unless you have a DeLorean and can go 88 miles an hour in it, or higher, you're not going to be able to go to yesterday. We can't go back in time. So the second best time is today. Get started and work on your future for your family. And one of the most exciting partnerships we've had is with Connect Invest, where an investor who doesn't have enough to buy their first home or needs to start smaller because they're not in a place to be able to invest 40, 50, 60,000 to buy a $200,000 investment home. This is why we partnered with Connect Invest as a tool for our clients to maximize their growth, to help them get started in real estate without having to invest 50,000. The minimum's only $500 to start with Connect Invest. And ultimately, you're able to get 4 to 5 times the average savings account. It's a very safe investment backed by real property. Some of the properties we're building are in this portfolio. And I want to share a quick video on this as another special bonus. The last one tonight before we wrap up and get into the Q&A is going to be a free $50 with your first $500 investment in Connect Invest. So start investing here. This is our specific link that will lock you in for the bonus for anyone who signs up tonight. It's free to sign up. And once you fund your first $500 investment, as long as it's within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it will have that bonus attached. Looks like it's going to be through the end of the year. So the next 3 to 3.5 weeks. Can't believe we're already here. I'm going to go ahead and share that. And then I'm going to share some reviews from clients who've done this.
Hi, my name is Deb, and I've been using Connect Invest for 1.5 years.
Hey, this is Nick. I wanted to give you a quick reference on Connect Invest.
I wanted to try Connect Invest because I was just looking for other ways to allow my money to work for me.
Started investing with Connect Invest in 2023.
I started out with a small amount to make sure that this was right for our family.
I have been investing for about 1.5 years now, and I started out small. Wanted to make sure it was a legit setup.
And I've decided that it is. It has helped our family financially. I highly recommend using Connect Invest.
In each short note, you're basically investing within a diverse range of projects.
Connect Invest gives me a way to hedge my savings against inflation with little to no effort on my part.
I wasn't really happy with the interest rates that most savings accounts and bank accounts were offering, and I was just looking for something a little bit more. I wanted to see more traction through my money, and Connect Invest has allowed me to do that.
I went small and I started to see my interest go into my wallet every month. I even took some of that interest and transferred it back to my checking account. It was smooth as can be.
I've enjoyed investing with them. They have a really great customer service. I enjoy the diversification in my portfolio.
What I love most about the Connect Invest program is how simple and easy it is to understand, especially coming from someone without an investment background. This is a great program to get started through real estate investing.
Simple, and put it back in, and every month I get interest into it. And once it hits $500, I start a new short note, and so it's compounding nicely. At this point, I've got a few notes.
What I would say to someone who wanted to try Connect Invest is just give it a shot. I love this program. Try the 6-month note. It's not very long. You'll understand how the program works, and you'll see your money grow in ways that I haven't seen before.
It's a great way to make a little bit of extra income on the side.
My experience these past 4 years being a Connect Invest client has been extremely positive. In these past 4 years, I've opened multiple notes. I've allowed them to mature and grow.
With different term dates, and I'm very pleased with it. Very simple to manage it. Very simple to see the money go in, and extremely happy. If you're looking into it, I would recommend it highly.
And you'll see your money grow in ways that you hadn't seen before.
Video there. Proud to work with Connect Invest, and it's a investment tool I love to use when I'm between properties and saving up for the next one, making all of the cash flow work for me. One of the things we're most proud of is giving back with every investment we do, benefiting the Tim Tebow Foundation and donating enough to save a life for every investment purchase, which we're proud to say we develop now over 2,000 homes per year. And I'm going to open it up to any questions. We have a Q&A, as well as the chat seems to be working now. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look into the chat for anyone here. I've got a few questions. If they're tax related, Bobby's been kind enough to stay on as a CPA to answer those, since we're tight on the timeline to help you maximize that and get started and go quickly. So let's start with, do I actually own the home? Yes. So when you work with us and you're buying an investment home, you're buying it directly from us, deed and title. So it's not a fund, a REIT, a hedge. Clients can partner with friends, family. A lot of clients will partner, and that's one of the programs and ways to invest. If you have 25,000 and your friend has 25,000, we can help you set up an LLC that you each own 50% of and buy the home. So what kind of monthly cash flow numbers are we seeing here? And that's a great question. And it really depends on how much you invest and how little you put down. Because the more you put down, the more you're going to see. And some clients, if they're close to retirement, will buy the properties outright. And simply put, we only go into markets that produce a good cash flow. And we base that based off of the DSCR and the income the properties make. So we're always going to be right around a 7% cap rate, sometimes as high as 8, 9%. And simply put, a $200,000 home would make $15,000 to $16,000 net income per year after taxes, insurance, management, maintenance, and vacancy. So with a mortgage, that's still going to be positive versus a more expensive area. I pick on California a lot, but even where I live in Austin, Texas, is very expensive. A home that's $1 million here would be $200,000 in one of the markets we're going to that are well below average cost of living, with a lot of potential for growth. So we're always going to focus on markets that we consider markets that have good cash flow and good appreciation potential. So you have a lot of growth potential all around. And Bobby, I'm going to throw one your way. We're not high earners. How much can the tax bill help me only earning $50K on the W-2?
Well, that's going to really depend on, how much you're actually getting taxed. So obviously, the less money that you make, the less effect it's going to have. But the bonus depreciation would still apply for you. In fact, I'd probably recommend going probably a long-term rental instead of doing a short-term. And that's just because there's less risk involved generally, because you're not dealing with tourism. And you just get a steady monthly cash flow that's predictable. And that's because, if you're under $100,000 from a tax bill from 1986, which frankly hasn't been increased for inflation, you're able to take up to $25,000 in losses. Now, adjusted for inflation, this would be about $70,000 to $75,000 today. Likewise, that 100,000, that would be closer to like 300-ish thousand today as well. And if you're above $150,000, you actually cannot take losses in long-term rental real estate. So it's got to be pretty much short-term to be able to actually take the effects of the bonus depreciation that year against your active income. So, you'd be able to take up to $25,000 of depreciation in that case. That would actually offset your active income. So, which is around, would knock out your whole tax bill, essentially.
Plus all the other benefits of real estate. Thanks, Bobby. And a couple questions going through IRAs to kind of hit a few in the grouping. If I have an old 401k, how do I open a self-directed IRA? So you may have a 401k with Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch. These are all traditional custodians that offer IRAs, but they are not IRAs that allow you to buy real estate. So we work with a number of self-directed custodians that are like Fidelity, that are FDIC insured, follow the IRS tax code. They're just set up in a way to allow alternatives like and including owning investment homes. So our team can help you create that, go over any questions you have. We have great relationships with IRA custodians. We speak at their events. We were just at the Directed IRA Summit, which is all about alternative assets and using your IRA to maximize your growth. And one of the coolest things, because I'm always learning at these events, is just how many of the wealthiest people are using their Roth IRA to buy real estate and make this return completely tax-free and generational wealth for their family. So that's another great way to do this as well. And we partner with so many companies. We can help you vet those companies and ultimately you choose the one that you like best. How do I get started? The best way to start is like I mentioned, going ahead and booking a call. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat one more time as well, where we have our chat for booking a call through our team and getting on our calendar and getting that additional closing cost bonus if you choose to move forward. Do most of your clients get approved for financing? So great question. And to break it down, having over 300 different lenders, we have multiple different options for financing, from conventional, which is the most difficult, to DSCR, which is based mainly on the property's income, to non-recourse, which is 100% based on the property. So you could have no FICO score, no income, and that loan is 100% based on the property. And that's one of the items that gives clients, especially new clients, a lot of peace of mind, is that the lenders we work with are basing these loans not necessarily off your income, but the income the property makes, the location, the market, the team managing it. And having done this for now over 24 years, we have amazing relationships with banks where we're able to get you the best rates on these investment homes. And Olga, we're in multiple different markets. We've been in 15 different states and now over 50 different cities. And one of the big things that really clicks with an investor when they start to be really successful with this is they start thinking not, I want to live there, this is close to home. It's like, whoa, that's the best market to be in. You know, my first investment property being in Florida when I lived in Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, one of the most expensive places to live in the country. I was buying investment homes before I could afford to buy a primary because it's that expensive there. And it made no sense to do an investment in the wrong market where the laws don't favor landlords. The home prices are so expensive, the rent doesn't cover the mortgage, and you're not able to create a positive cash flow. And there's no growth potential in those expensive markets that people are leaving. So being in the right market is really the key to being successful with this. And that's why we spend over 2 years researching these markets and can help you understand why we're there, the key indicators, what that means for the growth potential to help you make the best decision for you and your family. And we love Florida as a market. It's done phenomenal for the majority of our clients. I have some great coworkers that live in Florida, but Florida is not a market we're focusing on right now because it's gotten very expensive. The cost of insurance is very high. And over the last really 8-9 years, the rents have not kept up with the home price increases. So the homes we've done in the past there have done phenomenal for our clients. This problem I'm talking about is what we want. It's a good problem when our markets get too expensive and we have to go to the next area. That means we've made a great profit. We have a lot of equity and we can utilize that equity in like phase 2 where we're harvesting it either through an exchange or through a refinance. And a lot of our clients have moved those properties to other markets because they had so much equity, they could take it out and get more cash flow and more growth potential in the next market. So ultimately, we're with you from start to finish, and we're here to help you be in all of these markets without it having to be a full-time job. I think I got time for one more before I wrap up tonight. And hearing from our clients, sign up on the first link. There's a tremendous amount of client case studies. There's an excellent webinar recording on there that we had a client share his experience with working with different management teams and what he learned dealing with some challenges investing out of state and how he overcame them and ultimately continued on his journey as he's very close to financial freedom right now. So excellent client case studies to hear from our clients and learn from the people who've done this with us before. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in the chat as well. One more link to our new education page that's going to have all of these recordings saved where you can sign up and you can sign up there and you can get educated and empowered to make the best decision for you and your family. Thank you all for being on tonight. Thank you, Bobby, for being a great guest cameo. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with an additional client case study where you can hear from some of our clients, and everyone have a great night. Excited to speak with you in the future and see and help your family achieve this financial freedom.
Realizing that there were some great options to be able to invest in other really solid markets that can provide a good return on the investment. And I think that was really eye-opening to me.
Option of acquiring newly built properties was definitely quite appealing, as opposed to properties that require rehabilitation and things along those lines.
All those kind of assumptions and projections from the beginning that SDIRA provided were really very accurate. And I tried to see if I could, get anything cheaper in any particular area. And really, I think SDIRA does have the huge advantage of a full service real estate company, and with working with a number of customers and clients that they can kind of take advantage of scale that SDIRA is working at. And that really does provide some savings to the clients and customers of SDIRA. So that's kind of a huge benefit of working with SDIRA, and one thing that I was really pleased with.
I've got some rental income coming in on a monthly basis that hopefully by the time I do want to retire, I can have that as a form of income.
Really great caveats or great pieces of information that I've taken out of this and that I'm working into my overall financial plan. And
it's a company that's been pretty good to deal with. They've got rental properties across the country.
This isn't get rich quick scheme. This isn't like buying a $2 stock and crossing your fingers and hoping, in 6 months, you can cash it in for millions. This is more of a slow, more conservative game, and the sooner they get in is better.
The strength of these markets outside of our home market of being in California, and I think that's pretty eye-opening too, is to talk about the great market analysis which I got from I received from SDIRA.
In terms of kind of explaining the multiple streams of income or value or revenue from real estate. So kind of learning those 4 kind of critical areas where you can have cash flow, tax benefits, but then also you're gaining equity in the house, and then the house is the property will appreciate in value over time.